wabarakatuh. No comprende? White people. White people.
A few moments later.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, a good afternoon, a good evening. I don't know where you guys are in the world, but I hope you're having a good one. And I know some of y'all are just like, girl, what did you just say? So assalamu alaikum is peace be upon you in Arabic. So basically guys, the only reason I'm explaining this is because this is my reverse story and I know a lot of non-Muslims are gonna view this. So this is a little fact of the day for you guys. If you're Christian or Catholic or Orthodox or something like that, I know a good example of how to explain this to you. Basically in every service at some point the preacher, minister, whoever's giving the service will say, turn to the person next to you and say, peace be with you. So then what you know, everyone around you will come shake your hand and be like, oh, peace be with you, peace be with you. So basically, Muslims say that when they first see each other, like as a greeting, instead of, oh, hi, how are you? They'll say, assalamu alaikum, which is like, peace be with you, which is like a Christian version, except we do it every day when we meet each other. So anyway guys, today I'm going to be talking to you about how I became Muslim, how I found Islam, why this white girl is wearing hijab. You know how it is. So anyway guys, if you want to hear my story, let's get to it. So guys, just a bit of background information. I am Australian born and raised. My family's history background is Irish Catholic, so all my family is from like Europe, mostly Ireland, and they're all Catholic, very strict Catholics. So when I came home and like, hey guys, I'm Muslim, white girls say what? They were shocked and surprised, and to the least of things, not very impressed. But you know, at the end of the day, you gotta do what makes you happy, and Islam makes me happy. So anyways, let's start from the beginning. So, my family, my parents grew up with very strict religious parents, so when they had me and my sister, they didn't want to enforce any of that stuff on us. So we didn't grow up going to church often or anything like that. Until when I got to about grade 9 in high school, I had a lot of issues go on in high school with eating disorders, depression, anxiety, everything like that. And so my outlet was religion. I was always wondering, why do these things happen to me? Why am I here? When bad things happen to you, especially at such a young age, you start questioning things around you, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What's the point? Otherwise, you end up getting very depressed and very upset. And if you've been through any of that stuff, you can understand where I'm coming from. And so in grade 9, when some of the bad stuff started happening, I went on a school trip, and it was to one of the rivers around our city. And we spent a few days there. And at night time, we were all sitting around the campfire, all us girls, and one of the teachers, he's so lovely, Mr. Burrows, I'll never forget him. And he started telling us about his testimony, which is how he became Christian, which was very dramatic and this massive story. And we were all like so shook. We were like, wow, wow. Like legit, we were shook at like the story he told it. And I became so interested that night. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be Christian. Oh my God, I believe in this. This is the answer to all my solutions. But yeah, so that's how the story started. I went to him the next day and I was like, what do you do to become Christian? Do you gotta do something? Do you gotta go somewhere? Do you gotta say something? And he's like, well, basically in Islam we have the Shahada, which is basically the same as a christening, where you say, I believe in Jesus and the Son and the Father and the Holy Spirit and stuff like that. So I said that and I proclaimed that, and then from there on I started going to a Christian group at school, which was like once a week at a lunchtime, and we talked about heaven and hell and what we should be doing to be a good person. And because that's what all religions are about. They're about humanity and being a good person and trying not to do wrong. That's the main essence of all the religions. And that's what we started studying. And talking about hell and heaven used to scare the crap out of me. I used to walk out of, like after, I still remember one of my first sessions when they were talking about heaven, and I walked out of that lunchtime meeting like shook. I was like, what is real life? What is a dream? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I didn't know how to take it in my brain at all. So then fast forward to year 10, no, fast forward to about 6 weeks after that camping trip, I got really interested in Christianity. Like I wanted to know what it was. Like I'm not gonna just proclaim something that I'm Christian, this and that to the world if I didn't actually believe, if I didn't know A to Z what this was. So I don't know what came over me, but I googled my local churches, and my local church came up, and I don't know, this freaking, how old was I? 14-year-old girl rung up the church, and I'm like, hello, can I please speak to the manager? Like, girl, it's not a shoe shop. But yeah, I was like, can I speak to the manager? And you know, the main minister there picked up the phone, and I was like, do you guys have any prayer groups or something that I can get involved in the church? I'm a new Christian, blah blah blah, explain my situation. And he was like, yeah, we've got a Christian group down on Wednesday morning. So I got on my bike and rode down to the church, didn't know where it was, and I went into this room, and there was like all of these like lovely people. There's about 10 of us. It was more like older generation, because